Montclair, New Jersey. That is where my son, Michael, won his very first 5-kilometer race. And I wasn't there at the finish line. Our daughter-in-law was updating Valerie and I on the race statistics via text messages and some video clips as we watched from the kitchen table. I got to see Michael win that race from a distance. And just a few weeks prior, Michael ran a 4-minute and 21-second mile, beating his previous record significantly. And again, I wasn't there at the finish line and learned and watched the race via text messages and video clips. Now, at 33 years old, and after overcoming some pretty significant challenges, Michael is running faster than he has ever run in his life. And I couldn't be more proud. But beneath that, there is something else. Something that I really wasn't prepared to admit, and nothing to do with the race. But this has everything to do with who I was becoming now as his father. So to understand this, I have to take you back to where it began. Southeast Massachusetts, a little sea village in New England. Michael just begins running cross country in the 5th grade, and I was there. And I would be there with him through that journey, that running journey, for the years, and I would travel all through New England to the different track meets and races and events. I was there to participate with him. I watched him grow from this young runner into who he is today, the status as an elite athlete and runner. I was also there when he got shot, and the question was, how fast is Michael going to run, but will he ever run again? And I was also there when he stepped away from running after college for a few years. And then I was there when he decided to re-enter and get back into running. And today I am there for him from a distance because I get to see and observe and participate in his races via text messages and video clips. And I am watching him become the man that I knew he would become. I am so proud of my son and lost about myself in that same breath. You see, he doesn't need me the way that he used to. And I have spent years, as we do as parents, helping him learn to stand on his own. And guess what? He did just that. But I was not prepared for how that was going to make me feel. You see, I really believed I was losing my role, but I really wasn't. I still had the job of being Michael's father, but my role was going to change. My son grows to be a man, your child grows up to be an adult, and that relationship is going to change. But we have to change too. Fathers often say how proud they are of their adult children, and they really mean this. But pride and grief can coexist in the same time and in the same space. You think about it, for years, you've been the protector, the provider. You have been that person that they go to when they have a question that they need an answer for. And now the question is more personal. When they no longer need that, where do I fit in? What value do I bring? And more importantly, how do I remain close in this relationship without having control? I've known fathers that have given advice that's unwanted. Also, those who become extremely critical, and yet still others that actually start to pull away. They start to isolate before they feel they're going to be pushed out. And underneath all of those reactions is a fear. It is fear of not knowing who I am if I'm not needed like I was before. And to further understand this, the truth is that I wasn't just following Michael with his races to watch him run. The journey was more about how he was developing and who he was becoming, the disciplines that he was putting into his life. I would sit in the couch, we would be watching something, and he would sit on the floor next to me and he would do 120 crunches. And he did that every single night, every day. And he would control what he ate. He would measure his food. He was developing his identity through these disciplines, a disciple to a principal, the principal being of who he wanted to become as a runner, as an athlete. Not only was this the great part of this journey, for us and for me specifically, it was about having the opportunity to know that Michael had security, that he had support, that he had somebody there, that he had people there for him, that he could do those things without any other outside concerns or fears. Because my childhood, I know, did not have that. My dad died when I was young. My family fell apart when I was very young. Everything disintegrated. I was homeless at 17. So I wanted something more for Michael, and I needed to see that happen. And it was in my heart for that to happen. And I watched that grow. That was my identity at that time, was to help understand that I would never let Michael have that experience of those things that I had to go through myself personally. I remember the support and being there when Michael got shot accidentally by hunters at the start of his winter track meet in his senior year. It wasn't a question now of, is Michael going to be running again? It was a question of, how do we get him to run again? And what do we do to make that happen? And again, that journey, that perseverance that went forward with that. And as Michael grew into that, my role also grew with him. There was a significance with this race because it was a shift in how I really started to see myself, because now I'm observing this race from a distance. Michael lives in a city and I live an hour away in the suburbs. We don't have that physical ability to see each other and connect, and I can't get to his races like I used to. But I now participate on the phone. You see, one day we stop raising our sons and we get to begin to know them as a man. And the truth is that my job as Michael's father hasn't ended. My job description has changed. So over 3 decades as a behavioral health specialist working with fathers, families, I have found a common pattern that plays out. What it is our adult children, fathers, your sons and daughters, are growing up, but we are still trying to play and perform that old role. And it isn't a question of love. This is a question of being stuck in an identity and trying to perform in that when the relationship truly has changed. My son is not asking for that help. He's saying, please give me respect in this relationship and allow me to make my own decisions. And I, as a father, am still trying to work on that old thought process, that old paradigm. I'm trying to work off of that idea that, no, I have to protect you still. And if I'm not doing that and I can't be there to be your protector, I don't know where I fit in and I don't know where to go. They will say, I don't know where my place is right now if you don't need me the way you did. And this is where good intentions turn into control. As a role of the father, still trying to protect while the son is trying to say, I don't need your protection anymore. The real truth is that fathers, we struggle because our role changes faster than our identity. So what is the path forward? How do we get past this? Well, first, truly, is to honor the season that has already passed, the chapter that was written in the book. It is closed. That chapter is closed. This season has moved on. And it's okay to have a grief to it. It's okay. I reminisce so often about, like, my gosh, what it was like in these certain specific moments in Michael's journey. And you have that same experience with your child and your children. And it's okay to go back and think about that and to grieve that loss, to say, God, I miss that. That is all right. That is part of this process of getting our ability of us to get ourselves out of this and to move forward. We need to be able to sit back and grieve those moments and say, and it's okay, it's not a guilt thing. We don't have to feel guilty about it. There's nothing about this that we're doing anything wrong. Again, you have whatever experiences that you have that you're saying, gosh, I miss that. Boy, I really wish I had that opportunity to do that again. We all have that. But here's the piece. It's okay to talk about it, mourn it, let it go. You know, I use a phrase often, it's like we build the bridge and then we get over it, right? And you're building that bridge right now. You are building that bridge and you will get over it. So the second thing we can do is trade control for our presence, to be present, to participate. I couldn't be at Mike's race for the 5K, but I could participate on my phone and getting the updates from my daughter-in-law and staying very connected that way. A better presence too is that when they have something going on is to listen, not to give opinions, not to be critical, not to inject ourselves, our biography into their lives. Allow them to speak and listen. Listen with the intention of understanding them, not responding to them. Do not respond from our autobiography. Listen for their perspective and where they are, and to meet them in that spot, meet them in that space, meet them where they are, being present. And what's the third part? This is my favorite. Here's where we become the mentor, not the author of their life, but the mentor. This is where we are the guidepost. This is where we have one of the greatest gifts that all human beings have, but talking about fathers here right now specifically, the power of influence even in our adult children. And what that influence means is that we have the opportunity to still be present and participate, but offer them guidance from the back end. And then they will make that decision if they choose to take that route or to follow that moment of guidance. They will be empowered, I should say, really. They're empowered to make that decision of their own lives. But we can have that mentorship ability. We can be there because we've had that life experiences and they having gone through the journeys like we have, right? I can share with Michael experiences from my past that he would never have had understood. The survival mechanisms when you're 17 and homeless, living in a snowbank in a city, right? These experiences have given me some additional opportunities to give him some strength and know that whatever challenges he had to overcome, and this was significant when he was shot, that he can and will overcome those. That's a mentor today. That is a relationship that builds and builds because of that power of influence. So third piece, my favorite, is that we become the mentors in their lives. And if you think about it, at this moment, our job is not to write the story of their life anymore. Our job now is to participate and to read it as they write it, walk alongside of them. So the truth is that Michael is no longer that he doesn't need me in my role. He needs me in a different role to be there as support. He doesn't need me managing his decisions. He knows how to do that himself. But he does need me as that guidepost, that support and mentor, that just to be there, sometimes just to listen. I'm not losing my son. I'm gaining an adult into my life and my family and into my relationships. For me, I think the hardest part of fatherhood is not raising our sons. It is becoming the father that they need when they become adults. So this is a part of work that happens in our second half of life, our second journey. The answer is not to cling on to the past, but to let go and become the person we need to become as they become that person that they need to become. And the truth is, and I'll speak from self, but I may be speaking to you as well, that it isn't the children that need to grow up. Sometimes it's the father, the parent, the caregiver. So if this video spoke to you even the slightest, I invite you to join us at the Tiger's Den. I have an access group there called Silver Warriors. It is for men in the second half of their journey who share experiences, work on their roles and identities and responsibilities. I'll have a link in the description below. Next time, I want to tell you about the 2 years Valerie and I lived in 2 separate states and the distance that followed us home. If you made it this far, you are a Silver Warrior, and I am very grateful to be part of your journey. I will see you in the next video.